Look. Oh, hey, wait. What's good? How your day going? Slow it down. What's good? How your day going? Morning, evening, night. I'm gonna give you a little more respect than that. My bad. I'm ready to watch this one though. I'm excited. I'm gonna talk a little bit of ish. It's gonna be a long intro. You can fast forward if you want. Then we're gonna start the video. The reason why I'm ready to watch this one, I hope it's no, F with the D on it in this. I'm hoping it's none. Looking at this thumbnail, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be. Look, I love the Asian culture. I love a lot of shit about it. Just putting everything under one umbrella real quick here. Look, I love the food. I love the horror movies. I love the look. I love it, right? So when me and my friends will do shit like go out for K barbecue, go out for sushi and shit like that. When we go, sometime we'll get like a squid or something. Maybe like the little ones, or not this shit like on the thumbnail. Stop playing with me, dog. And it be just like still alive, and they be like, all right, we gonna cut it, who gonna eat it, blah blah blah. And I just be looking the whole time. I ain't never in my life tried one. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm just looking like, hell no, not me. But some of them, they'll be trying whatever. They're like, it's whatever, blah, blah. The reason why I never wanted to try it, because I remember when I was like first getting into like the sushi game or whatever. Me and my partner, his uncle take us out to eat, whatever. We go get sushi. But he get like these little squids, boy. When I say nigga, them all still had their head on it and everything. So I'm tripping, like I'm just like this kid just come from Flint, whatever. And this was our first. I think it was like in Cali at the time. I like traveled with him and shit. So I'm looking like, what the fuck? He ain't gonna really eat this, dog. And he kept trying to give me tries. Like, oh, you wanna try it? I'm like, hell no, boy, stop playing with me. And he was like, finally, he kind of just told me though when he saw I was about to eat it. He said, well, if you ever try them, just make sure you chew it all the way, because if not, the tentacles get stuck in your throat and choke you. I said, dog, you ain't tripping, dog. Ever since then, I knew it was like, I'm not touching that ish. It to me, it's always been the equivalent to like, sorry, I'm gonna trigger you. Probably gonna trigger my whole family. Hey, of like chitlins in the black community. I'm like the only one in my household that don't eat that shit. And I think my little sister don't either. But nah, they look like little coochies and they stink. I'm sorry, dog. You want to check out with your video? Link will be in the description below. My bad. TMI. Nah, let's go.
Number 11. Christine Fensom. In September of 2016, 10 days after her wedding, English woman Christine Fensom and her partner were honeymooning in Mexico. During the trip, the 54-year-old had a grouper fish dinner, which made her severely ill. Her condition rapidly deteriorated, and Fensom suffered a fatal heart attack. Her death was subsequently attributed to Ciguatera fish poisoning. Symptoms include numbness, weakness, vomiting, diarrhea, and in rare cases like Fensom's, heart complications. In recent years, ciguatoxin has reportedly become more prevalent in reefs around the world, including in the Gulf of Mexico, due to global warming. It's originally made by a marine organism called Gambia discus toxicus, which grows on and around coral reefs. The organisms are consumed by herbivorous fish, which then fall prey to larger carnivores like grouper, barracuda, sturgeon, or sea bass.
Ooh.
By moving up the food chain, the toxins become more concentrated.
Hey, what I was gonna say though, dog, I get it. When you travel, especially out the country, you go visit on vacations, honeymoons, whatever you doing and shit, you do want to live a little. So it makes sense to try it. But I'm sorry, if that was the plate, I ain't gonna judge it though. Some people like different shit. If that was an actual picture of that plate, nah, I need to speak to the manager, bro. Just take this
back.
By
moving up the food chain, the toxins become more concentrated. Number 10. Family pufferfish poisoning. In 2019, 2 residents of Probolinggo in East Java died and 2 others fell violently ill following severe pufferfish poisoning. Baidawi, his wife Suhaina, and their sons had caught and prepared the fish. While considered a delicacy in some cultures, these animals are among the most poisonous vertebrates in the world.
You see how huge that mug actually was?
In some cultures, these animals are among the most poisonous vertebrates in the world.
I know that.
The liver and skin may contain tetrodotoxin, which is roughly 1,200 times more toxic to humans than cyanide, and which doesn't have an antidote. In Japan, the pufferfish dish is called fugu, and chefs trained for years in learning how to prepare it. According to one of the younger members, the family had eaten the same species before without any health complications. On February the 8th, however, They started feeling nauseous,
Nigga, give
dizzy,
me a
and their
catfish.
throats felt warm. They were taken to a health center where the parents were pronounced dead while their sons received supportive treatment. Number 9. Jeanette LeBlanc.
Nigga.
In September of
Hey, I remember we was at a family reunion, dog. I hope they'll see this. They don't. They don't watch my videos. Look, all right. It was like at a family reunion, dog. You know, we just had like a fish fry, whatever. So you know what I'm saying, frying fish. So I got family coming in from like Ohio, Chicago, whatever, like from all over, whatever, because we all from Midwest, whatever. So I don't know if it was Ohio tag or that's just one of my uncles. I was like, nigga, I'm like eating that shit, bro. When he took the fish out of the I'm gonna make it quick. He took the fish out of the damn cooler. Basically, to make it short, man, he gave me that shit still raw, dog, and I was not about to eat that. But he was sitting at the same table, so I was sitting there like picking it, like look like, I'm like, oh shit, let me go to the car, grab some real quick. But I ain't never come back and eat that shit.
Number 9. Jeanette LeBlanc.
He tried to kill me, matter of fact.
In September of 2017, Texas woman Jeanette LeBlanc was visiting family in Louisiana. While there, she went crabbing and also bought a bag of raw oysters from a market in Westwego. LeBlanc and her friend reportedly ate about 24 oysters together. Roughly 2 days later, LeBlanc had trouble breathing and a rash on her legs. The 55-year-old woman thought it to be an allergic reaction, but she'd actually contracted flesh-eating bacteria and developed a condition called Vibriosis. It's caused by Vibrio bacteria, which can come from contaminated shellfish or enter the body through an open wound in brackish water or salt water. It's particularly dangerous for people with compromised immune systems and, in severe cases, may result in limb amputation or death.
Oh, because I ate a
gradually
fucking
became
oyster?
worse as the infection wrought havoc on her legs. The woman would spend the next 21 days fighting for her life until she ultimately succumbed to the disease in mid-October. Number 8. Wantana Fuchco.
Who?
October. Number 8. Wantana Fuchco. In spite of their common name, horseshoe crabs are more closely related to spiders and scorpions than they are to crustaceans. Some of the crab species are poisonous, while others are safe to eat. Therefore, misidentification can produce tragic results. 46-year-old Wantana Fuchco from Phuket, Thailand, had collected over a dozen horseshoe crabs from a forest mangrove. She believed them to be a harmless variation, but they were actually Carcinoscorpius rotundicuda, which often contain lethal tetrodotoxin. After Fuchco grilled and ate a crab, she vomited and couldn't walk straight. As her mother took her to the hospital, the woman's condition worsened. An ambulance was called which intercepted them, but in spite of the emergency responders' CPR attempts,
Shit don't even look
Fuchco was
appetizing.
pronounced dead. Hers wasn't an isolated case, and in the past, the Thai Ministry of Public Health had warned that consuming mangrove horseshoe crabs can be deadly.
Need more time to file your taxes this year? Get a free 6-month IRS tax extension now and afford.
Number 8. Wang. In 2020, a Chinese man only identified as Wang suffered horrific health complications, which doctors believed were a result of his exotic food preferences. Wang's diet often included crayfish, live river snails, and raw seafood. On one occasion, he even ate a raw snake gallbladder.
Nigga, I thought that was balls, dog. Hey, real talk. You know what's funny, man? Because I'm small. I used to eat sushi all the time, dog. Like, I always used to eat it. I usually got to be in the mood when I want raw or whatever. But I'm always... Hey, but lately, dog, to kind of get to the point, lately, I be hella scared to eat it. Because I be thinking about shit like this now. And I'm like, fuck, man, watching stuff like this is like... my phone? My bad, my girl just came out real quick. But look, where was I at? Watching stuff like this, dog, it's like, it's teaching you shit, but at the same time, it's like, dog, I don't want to really live my life in fear, dog. But, because, I mean, if you eat oysters, you probably still eat a fucking oyster tomorrow. Like, man, this... that's crazy, dog. The horseshoe poncho, whatever, yeah, that one, I'm sorry. Hey, shit happened, dog. That's crazy to me.
Wang's diet often included crayfish, live river snails,
See, I
and
eat
raw
crawfish.
seafood. On one occasion, he even ate a raw snake gallbladder. For months, the man had trouble breathing. He went to a hospital in Zhejiang in eastern China's Jiangsu province. It was there
Tell
that
him you had a
CT
gallbladder.
scan revealed that his lungs were riddled with worms. The condition, called paragonomyosis, is caused by a parasitic flatworm, commonly known as the lung fluke. It's a foodborne illness that can last for years, with symptoms resembling those of pneumonia or stomach flu. Doctors immediately began treatment in an effort to rid Wang of the worm infestation in his lungs. Number 6. Kevin Davis. In November of 2018, the Jamaican teenager lost his life as a result of acute ackee poisoning. Shortly after leaving his home, 19-year-old truck driver Kevin Davis had breakfast at a restaurant. It consisted of corn, pork, and ackee, an exotic fruit from the soapberry family. The national fruit of Jamaica, ackee is among the country's most popular food items. The
Shoulda
arrows,
like it bite.
which are the outgrowths that cover the seeds, have been described as a delicacy when ripe and properly cooked. However, parts of the fruit that aren't ripe contain toxins called
It look like-
hypoglycin A and hypoglycin B. They're the primary cause of Jamaican vomiting sickness, an acute condition that's potentially deadly. Davis collapsed almost immediately after eating his breakfast and was pronounced dead at the scene.
Damn!
His grieving mother suspected that the teenager might have been intentionally poisoned, since the onset of symptoms was so sudden and violent. Number 5. Dead from live octopus.
See?
In South Korea, eating live octopus is considered a delicacy.
I saw that
But
video.
there's also a serious choking hazard. This is considered a delicacy. But there's also a serious choking hazard that comes with the practice. Younger octopi are consumed whole, while larger ones are cut up, and their still moving tentacles are ingested. Since the suction cups on the limbs are still active, pieces can get lodged in a person's throat.
What I just
In
said.
April of 2010, a man only identified as Kim checked into an Inchin City motel with his girlfriend after buying 2 live octopi. The woman named Yoon stopped breathing after eating one of the animals. She was rushed to a hospital where she died 16 days later. While initially considered an accident, the case was also investigated as a potential murder at the behest of the victim's family. Yoon had reportedly taken out a life insurance policy prior to her death of an estimated $190,000, with Kim as the sole beneficiary. The case made it to South Korea's Supreme Court, where Kim was
shit
eventually
got a little deep.
acquitted. Number 4. Bullfrog poisoning. In March of 2017, an unnamed man from South Korea died after eating a poisonous toad.
Boy,
the
what the
57-year-old was
fuck?
part of a group of men who'd caught 5 amphibians near the city of Daejeon. A few days later, the men cooked and ate them at a restaurant.
Oh.
After the meal, the victim started vomiting and was rushed to a hospital. In spite of supportive treatment attempts, he suffered fatal cardiac arrest the following morning. The others in the
Because
group
you ate a
reported
fucking
similar symptoms.
bullfrog!
They survived. Police submitted leftovers of the dish to a laboratory for analysis. They found that it contained traces of pufferfish, a psychoactive compound that is typically found in toad toxin. The poisonous amphibians look similar to bullfrogs, which is how the
Ooh,
tragic
shit,
misidentification had occurred. Pufferfish, which is also found in mushrooms and some plants, is related to other psychedelics like psilocin and DMT. While in some circles it's sought after for its psychoactive effect, the man had unknowingly consumed a lethal dose.
Man, I was some pickles now.
Let's send this. Let's sell this. Let's win this. With email marketing and more to drive your business forward. Try it free at Constant Contact.
Bonnie knows this ad about. I thought she was about pickles. Stop playing. Hey, you did a good job of selling pickles. I tell you that
Number
much.
3. Hand amputation.
Wait, he said an ant?
Number 3. Hand amputation.
Oh, hand amputation. Okay.
In August of 2018, an elderly South Korean man had his hand amputated after developing a severe infection from a raw seafood dish.
See,
12 hours
dog.
after the meal, the 71-year-old's hand had become horribly swollen and caused him
Ooh, boy.
excruciating pain. Doctors were able to drain the blisters and excise the infected tissue,
Eat that
after
seafood,
which
boy.
the man was prescribed antibiotics. The treatment failed in combating the disease, and necrotizing ulcers started forming on the man's hand. The damage was extensive, and the infection was still spreading, so doctors had no choice but to amputate the
Oh,
limb.
we gotta cut your shit
By
off,
consuming
bro.
raw seafood, The man had contracted the flesh-eating bacteria Vibrio vulnificus. The time elapsed between the moment he consumed the dish and the amputation was only 25 days. Today's topic was requested by Guerrilla Warfare, Timur Gune, and Dana Ripley. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2, raw Marmot plague.
See, but that's why I don't be eating a lot of people's seafood neither, dog. I don't be eating a lot of people's food in general, dog. Because if that shit ain't cooked right, dog. And like knowing me, I get to thinking like, nigga, you probably put poison in this shit. Look, see, dog. That's why with me, shit. I be hating. It's like learning all this shit. I be hating it. Like I told y'all lately, I've been hella into like the human anatomy in general, and a lot about food as well. And what's crazy because I'm trying to do this damn weight gain journey right now, but I ain't about to talk about that bullshit because I hate damn near 90% of the foods I gotta eat to do this shit. But lately, man, like seafood has always been like my go-to, like my love, dog. But lately, I just like I don't eat pork. I'm hella picky. I ain't about to get into this shit. But fuck, shit be scaring me, dog. But you gotta still live.
Raw Marmot plague. In the spring of 2019, a small town on the border between Russia and Mongolia was quarantined following a disease outbreak. A couple had consumed the raw marmot innards, which they believed would have beneficial health effects. They ate the animal's gallbladder, kidney, and stomach. Before long, the couple, who were both in their late 30s, fell violently ill. The man succumbed to multiple organ failure within a week. The woman started vomiting blood and suffered excruciating headaches. She died in the hospital from toxic shock. Their deaths would later be attributed to septicemic plague. It's among the plague variations that were part of the Black Death, which brought havoc on Europe during the 14th century, killing millions of people. Officials decided to quarantine the town due to suspicions that the victims had actually developed pneumonic plague, the most severe form of the disease and the only one that can spread from person to person.
They were just stacking
Roughly 118 people believed to have had contact with the couple were isolated and given antibiotics. Others in the town, with a population of about 1,300, had their movements limited and most remained inside for fear of catching the disease. The lockdown was lifted after no new cases of plague emerged. Number 1. Unnamed South Korean man.
Crazy.
In August of 2019, a South Korean man passed away after he choked on an octopus dish. The 71-year-old was at a seafood restaurant and had ordered a meal that involved chopping up and seasoning the animal's tentacles. In the summer months, the dish is considered a stamina booster in South Korea. The tentacles were, however, still wriggling when the man started eating them. The suckers blocked his airways and he immediately started signaling to those around him that he had trouble breathing. Restaurant staff called the emergency services, but unfortunately, they arrived too late to save the man's life. Thanks for watching. Would you rather eat pufferfish that wasn't prepared by a trained chef, or give up all your favorite food for a year?
Well, I give up all my favorite food for a year. I don't even care if it was my favorite chef or trained chef. I'm not about to eat that shit. Like, yep, I give up all my favorite foods for a year. A year ain't that long, dog. I just be craving my itch, man. And lately I've been loving pizza, dog. Like out of nowhere, like I've been tearing pizza up, dog. Fuck you looking at? Hold up. I mean, but honestly though, the only one that really got me, that made me feel like, all right, I feel a little bad for this person, it was the oyster one, because I mean, people eat that all the freaking time. The Mexico one, I can see, blah, honeymooning it up, living life. I can see that one happening, like, damn, but I shouldn't have did it. But the oyster one, because, like, hell, I don't eat oysters. But hella people I know just eat them, just be down on them, drinking, woo, 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 whatever. So I think, is it like, because she got, like, a bad one, maybe? Or was it like, is that, I don't know, dog. But, yo, either way it go, if you enjoyed the video, go click that like button. I appreciate it. Enjoy your night, evening, morning, day, whatever time it is. But I'm out.